What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is Calflos here, and today we are going to be continuing our playthrough of Ruined King. So as usual, if you guys are going to enjoy it, consider liking this video as well as subscribing. I really do appreciate your support here, but most importantly, it is so that you don't miss future episodes or uploads of single player playthroughs or content just like this one. And with that being said, let's get this episode started. Now here we are in the game. We are currently just outside the graveyard area, having completed that segment in the last episode. So yeah, we're done with that right now, and we are going to want to move on. I also mentioned in the previous episode that what I'm going to be doing first is that we are going to want to head up the road. If I just show you the map right here, we're going to head up the road to Treasure's Dungeon. That is because there is a side quest that will bring us there, which is the Chain Warden's Workshop, and potentially at Treasure's Library. At this workshop, we could create powerful weapons which will be used to face the Ruined King. So this definitely sounds good, and this is definitely something that I would like to go ahead and take a look at. We're also going to delay these two side quests for now, which is of course the cannon, which is going to bring us to Bilgewater, specifically the Grey Harbor area. The idol here is going to bring us to some area called the Baron's Rest. So yeah, we're going to delay these two for now. That is because ideally we are, in the Shadow Isles. I don't want to go back to Bilgewater and then come back to the Shadow Isles. I don't think that's going to make sense. So yeah, it's a matter of convenience. So we are just going to want to check out this place first. So I know Treasure's Library is just up the road, but because we're lazy, we're just gonna go ahead and take this fast travel point, or the teleporter if you will, and we are just gonna select Treasure's Library and we'll see where this brings us. Okay, here we are. So I believe this is outside Treasure's Chamber. I think so, in Treasure's Library. I can't really remember. Hold on, let me just check the map just to be sure. Yeah, this is outside Treasure's Chamber because this is where we first encountered Thresh in the first time we encountered the first time we explored this particular dungeon, Treasure's Library, of course. So yeah, this is just outside Treasure's Chamber, and looks like the objective is to head towards the Arcane Forge in Athenium, which was an area that we left, we disregarded when, the first time we were here. So it looks like this is where we need to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and head up towards it, the Arcane Forge and Athenium. I'm not really sure what to expect there. Hopefully nothing too major. The last thing I want is, a lot of enemies there, because it looks like a fairly moderate sized area of its own. I'm not really sure what to expect there, but you know what, we'll just go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's drop this door first. The ward on this door blocks away. Use your amulet to remove the ward. For those of you who are wondering, where the hell did we get this amulet? That is also in the first time we visited this dungeon. We talked to a couple of people. They gave us some crimson amulet. You should probably check out those episodes. I think they're around episode 70 something to 70 something to 75, or around that ballpark. So yeah, if you guys having trouble with that segment, do check it out. If not, let's just proceed with this area. So let's head in. Okay, here we are. This is Thresh's Artifact Workshop. Okay, cool. And we have some sort of thingy over here. Looks like an interactable forge by the looks of it. Looks like some sort of blacksmith area, because I can see a hammer and as well as what looks to be a blade, and lots of molten lava. Well, not lava, but molten molten metal, I would say. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just check it out and see what it is. The forge is freely available for use. It resonates with ultimate power. Let's inspect the forge. This forge has a domineering presence in the room. There is a simplicity to its design that almost hides its elegance unless closely examined, and everything about it is boiled down to its purest form. It is constructed immaculately. Only the highest quality of components can go in, and only legendary constructs can come out. Okay. There's nothing that we can do with it. If we check in again, it's just gonna tell us to inspect it. Looks like we cannot craft anything, I would say. I would assume this is where we are supposed to craft the ultimate weapons, the legendary weapons, I would say. But looks like we can't do anything with it because there's no option to do so. So I think we're just gonna leave it for now. Let's just go ahead and check the map. We have, looks like, 7 manuscripts in this area, so I think we're gonna want to check out each of them. Let's go ahead and head over this side first. Let's drop a scan. Okay, we have 2 over here and 1 over here. Let's check out this one on the table, because these two look a bit special. They're on some sort of lectern or podium, if you will, or some sort of pedestal. Let's go ahead and just check out this rolled up manuscript here on the table. Looks on 4 views of the blackbirds. Nothing too important. Let's just leave this. Okay, let's see what this is about. Study soul power, practical applications, and protective behaviors. Nothing too important either. Let's proceed. And Braum knows of the Hearth Blood. In the Tales of Ornn, the Hearth Blood are craftsmen without bounds. It is said that their skill was almost that of Ornn himself. Ornn the Hearth Blood sounds like tall tales to me. I'd rather focus on real weapons we can hold. They are real. Braum's shield was a door made by Ornn himself, powered by true eyes and wielded only by Freljordians of sufficient strength. What happened to your shield? I'm not sure. It was lost when Braum drowned. Braum... that's not swim. My men pulled them from the waters, but they did not recover a shield. True eyes, forged volcanic rocks, crystals with souls in them. How fancy. We must stay in motion. Obtain an enormous charged crystal. What the hell is this? Acquire volcanic Hearth Blood door. And... recover Braum's Freljordian shield. Okay. Obtain the components to craft Ornn's will. What the... oh, okay, I think I get it now. So we get those 3 components. We get to craft something called Ornn's will. And I'm gonna take a guess because we are in the appropriate area. I think Ornn's will is gonna be Braum's legendary weapon because by the looks of it, we need his shield as well. So I think by my understanding, when we grab those 3 components, we can go ahead and use this forge and we could craft, you know, the legendary weapons for Braum. And I think each of these lecterns are gonna give us the ingredients, the recipes, if you will, for the the items that we need to acquire to go ahead and craft legendary weapons for each of our champions. So that means we probably should have read that you know, that manuscript there thoroughly, and it is a bit of a mistake that I skipped it over. I tell you what, just because we're just focusing on the Arcane Forge in this episode, we're just gonna dedicate this episode entirely to this area, and I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the entry in the journal here of that you know, of that lore piece earlier. So like I said, I don't usually do this because it's very impractical for me to do so. The texts are, you know, there's a lot of text, and at the same time there's a couple of you know, there's a healthy amount of text for each area, so it's impractical for me to read everything. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and do it for this episode only. So let's go ahead and take a look at Braum's what do you call that, Braum's lore piece here, Braum's you know, recipe for his weapon. Study of soul power, practical applications, and protective behaviors. For ages, physical defensive measures have proven ineffective against magic. I'm just gonna skim through it. I'm just gonna, you know, glance through it real quick. Not gonna be too dedicated to reading, just to save everyone some time. By order of the king, we started researching more arcane methods of defense to support the Iron Order, and exploring the ability to store a soul into a crystal. We've tapped into an unimaginable power. We've known that channeling soul energy into crystals can result in some very interesting magic repellent qualities, albeit in small quantities. We've barely been able to charge much more than a fragment as of yet, and doing so makes it behave similarly to true ice. Unbelievably strong, but impossible to touch with bare hands. Okay, so this is very interesting because this is, you know, factually correct. True ice is unbelievably strong, and it is impossible to touch with bare hands. To my understanding, if memory serves me correctly, true ice does not melt as well. So I think it's you know, it's a very cool thing to note. And if you are not an Iceborn, which is what Braum is, and I believe a couple more other champions as well, the most prominent one that comes to my mind right off the top of my head right now is probably Sejuani and Ashe. I think Sejuani is a wielder of true ice through her, you know, her flail of some sort, her whip-like flail. Ashe has this enchanted, you know, ice arrow and ice bow, I would say. So yeah, these two are one of the more prominent wielders of true ice, and there are lots of Iceborn, but you know, these two come to mind when you talk about you know, Freljord. So yeah, this is factually true. True ice is unbelievably strong, impossible to touch with bare hands, because I've read somewhere as well, I think, and that if anyone that is not Iceborn such as true ice, I think they will instantly freeze or something, which is kinda scary if you ask me. So yeah, in fact, most materials are incapable of handling a charged crystal. We've had success with some specific volcanic charcoal, but it's impossible to source the stuff. We've heard tales of Hearth Blood crafters making all manner of things with special crafting techniques using charcoal, but their ways have been long lost. What we do know is that somehow they are capable to manipulate the charcoal with great skill, and the charcoal seems to be able to hold charged crystals. So This is also a very interesting thing here because there's mention of the Hearth Blood, which I believe is Ornn's faction. If you guys are unaware, Ornn is a god of the Freljord, along with two of his siblings, which I believe are Anivia, the Cryo Phoenix. The picture should be on your screen right now, just like how I put a picture of Sejuani and Ash earlier. There also should be, I think, another picture coming up of Volibear, which is of course another one of Ornn's siblings. So these three are gods of the Freljord. There are 7 gods in total in the Freljord, but these 3 are revealed to us, in League of Legends right now, and we know how they look like. The other 7, we aren't really sure. I cannot remember the other 7 as well. Goes to show how prominent they are. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in the screen so that you guys could possibly just take a look if you're interested. But yeah, this is very interesting because the Hearth Blood, to my knowledge, are extinct, if you will. Extinct, I'm not really sure. Actually, I'm not really sure if they're extinct or not. They are more like, I would say, mythology, and that's the more appropriate term. So they essentially they give offerings to Ornn. They pray to Ornn in some ways. They give offerings to Ornn by crafting blacksmithing, weapons and stuff. They're a bunch of blacksmiths essentially. Their culture is revolved around blacksmithing. So yeah, they revere Ornn and they basically worship him by giving him offerings of pieces that they've crafted and blacksmith. So yeah, this is a very cool thing about the Hearth Blood, and to my knowledge, I think, I'm not really sure about this. I think I've read somewhere that Braum is somehow vaguely connected to the Hearth Blood, because he is I don't know. I think it was because he can somehow have the shield door that the shield door weapon that he uses is actually supposedly from Ornn's hidden Hearthblood forge of some sort. So yeah, it's a very wide and vast kind of deal. I'm not gonna go too in depth into it because we'll be here for, I would say, the entire time. So I'm just gonna give you the short version, just patches of it here and there. So yeah, you guys should probably go check it out by yourself. So yeah, let's carry on with the story. While our research is still in its infancy, I can see a future where this power will be wielded by the Iron Order, arming them with a magical strength befitting of their divine purpose. Weapons forged of volcanic charcoal and paired with a charged crystal would be capable of unimaginable power. In the name King, the rest of the text is smudged and illegible. Okay, so that is interesting. So that means we need to find a volcanic Hearthblood door, Braum's Freljordian shield, and something to do with True Ice. I cannot remember what. I'll check that out later. It should be in the quest log, in theory. But yeah, let's go ahead and just check in with this second pedestal here, the second lectern. And Stewards of the Wind. This instantly tells me this is Yasuo's because obviously there's no greater ally than the wind, for it is her will that frees us from the confines of the land. Her blessings come in many forms, as does her fury. We pray to the wind before every sea voyage in hopes she will guide us safely and watch over our journey. Some claim to have seen bluebirds when the winds pick up, and the tailwind seem too good to be true. She is called Yana, the ancient Shuriman word for guardian. Okay, this is interesting. I was expecting, part of me was expecting Yana to somehow be involved here, but part of me also did not expect it. I would say 50-50. That is because, Yana is supposedly the I would say the Zonite, the goddess or the ancient deity of wind in a way. So I mentioned Zonite. That's because to my understanding of the past lore, there was a little bit of mention that Zonites actually pray to this goddess for for fresh air of some sort. That's because I think we all I think if you guys have watched Arcane, it's pretty much clear right now that Zon is an area where it's heavily polluted by chemicals and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if this is still existent in the present lore because they retcon everything with the release of Arcane. But I know for a fact that in the old lore there was mention that the Zonites actually prayed to Yana in order to get fresh air and stuff for for breeding, of course, and at the same time I think for some whatever little agriculture that they have and all that. So yeah, I highly recommend you check it out. It's very in-depth as well, but yeah, this is just the short version. So I am a bit surprised Yana is here, but part of me isn't surprised as well when you think about it. That's because I did not expect Yana to have involvement in this in Yasuo's potential weapon here. But then you think about it again. Yana is the deity of wind, so why would she not be involved? That's the logic, I would say. Okay, let's go and just carry on. Wearing jewelry in her name has become common practice among sailors. As the wind blesses our travels, so too can the fury bear on those who transgress against her. There are tales of a dragon born from the wind that can level whole armies. The Empyrean is said to be the wind's retribution. Okay, this is also interesting because the Empyrean, to my knowledge, is a card in Legends of Runeterra, and I believe the card is depicts a dragon, a wind dragon that lives that lives amongst the clouds high above in the skies of Ionia. So it is also a sentient dragon, a sapient dragon. In fact, all dragons in Runeterra are actually sentient. They can somehow speak to humans, which is a bit funny. Well, not that funny when you think about it. Runeterra basically means land of magic, so not that funny. Okay. Anyway, this is interesting. So I'm not sure if we will be facing any Empyreans in this game. If we do face an Empyreans, it could be a bit scary. But you know what? Let's just deal with it later. I think I pulled up a media on your screen as well earlier, so you can just you guys could indulge yourself with how certain things in Runeterra looks like. So let's continue with the story. For one to truly earn the wind's grace, they must reconcile the duality of the wind herself. Few have the patience to truly embrace the full breadth of the wind and find the center. Those who master the wind in its true form, in its neutrality, shall become the true stewards of her will. The duality of the wind, finding neutrality. The wind has been my ally in vengeance and wrath for a long time. The wind has pushed you forward, kept you in motion. I have used it for the wrong reasons for too long. You can find the balance. Your wind power has saved us more than once. It has guided us to safety. We definitely wouldn't be sailing anywhere without the winds. I need to do more. You will. Indeed you will, Yasuo. That is because we will definitely want to go ahead and get this weapon for you. Find an effigy of the benevolent wind goddess, as well as obtain a whisker of the wind's fury. And get a maple seeds touched by the patience of the wind. I believe we have the maple seeds right now, because that was on the Winddrake alt, and looks like we can once we obtain those components, we can craft Storm Razor, which is kind of interesting because Storm Razor, to my knowledge, I'm just going to show you a media on your screen. Storm Razor is a weapon in League of Legends, and I believe it is a powerful, a fairly powerful weapon which gives some bonus attack damage as well as some increment to critical. So I am definitely keen to use this one in Rune King, and I believe this should only be equipped. Able to be equipped on Yasuo. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, but first let's go ahead and just check out these other lectins here. Let's check out this third one. The dream of many eyes. I dreamt I was floating deep beneath the surface. I needed no air and felt no discomfort. I just existed, floating helplessly in pitch black water. Then I saw a giant eye open before me, then another, then so many more that I couldn't count them all. Next thing I knew, I was wrapped in tentacles. Okay, this is definitely Alawi. Where they started and ended was impossible to tell. Then I felt pain like I never felt before, and suddenly I was free. I was incomplete. I could see my body floating next to me, wrapped up and motionless. Then came the assault. Tentacles attacked me from all sides. It took everything I had to fend them off as I scrambled to get back to my body. Somehow, I made it and everything just stopped. The tentacles slowly let me go as the eyes closed rapidly. Then I heard a voice, a million words at once. It was over in an instant and I woke up in my bed, soaked as if I just came up from a dive. I knew what my god demanded. 3 tasks set before me: to restore the spirit of a trapped life deprived of motion, to destroy unnatural devices that force men to dwell on the past, and to nurture and protect life as it moves naturally forward. Only once I fulfilled the wishes of the god, I will be rewarded with her love manifest. This cannot be. Is this the diary of an ancient truth-bearer? It's not possible to have been in the presence of Nagakaboros and lived to write about it. Was this the first? No, it can't be. Nagakaboros has always been and always will be. What a strange story and a strange test. I have never heard of such a test given to a follower of the goddess. Can this be serious? The depths have their own will. We can do little but follow. On that, we agree. I will do what it takes to appease the goddess because that is my duty. Maybe we'll get an offering back. How Nagakaboros found you worthy, I do not understand. Maybe you're here, maybe you're meant to guide me here. Okay, we need to obtain components to craft the heart of the goddess there. So, I should have realized earlier that that was related to Alawi. That's because there was a lot of talk about many eyes and stuff, and to my knowledge, at least from the way some of the Bilgewater natives depict Nagakaboros, they call it the bearded lady. So I'm just gonna pull up a depiction of the bearded lady on Nagakaboros in one of the, I would say, the symbols drawn by Bilgewater pirates. It should be on the screen right now. So yeah, that's why it says many eyes. She looks like she has a lot of eyes there, and by the looks of it, she looks like some sort of kraken lady, kind of like a female Davy Jones. God, that's an image I don't want to think about. So yeah, as you can see, lots of tentacles down the bottom of the face there, like a beard. But I would say this is a bit debunked because there is a official artwork by Riot Games in the Ruined King game, which actually depicts Nagakaboros, as you can see here, as more like some sort of I don't know. We've met a couple of false goddesses as well as kraken bosses that we took on, and basically they look similarly to this one. So I would believe that this is Riot's revamped official art for Nagakaboros. So the depiction of the Bilgewater natives with the with the multiple eyes and the tentacle beard thingy is I would say just a depiction. So let's go ahead and check out this fourth lectern here and see what this is. Following Yamelo's footsteps, for the true magic of a craftsman does not come for true magic of a craftsman comes not from molding materials to his will, but in finding the inner will of the material and freeing that spirit. The greatest artisans from here to Targon say that Yamelo was a craftsman who could really feel that inner will. I know it sounds strange, but some of his most difficult work was apparently done with ancient fossilized eggs. The spirits of powerful creatures still stirred within. Imagine crafting with such precious materials, ancient stones imbued with powerful spirits. They are incredibly rare, but I found some of my own so that I may follow in Yamelo's footsteps. They say that some of these stones contain spirits that yearn for the moon, some for the stars, and few for the sun itself. But I found the grandest of eggs. I feel the soul of a fox within it. No, 3 foxes. This will be my greatest work yet. Okay, I think this should be for Ari, going off the last sentence there. Look, this person is writing about Yamelo. He was real after all, what a relief. I've always been worried he was just a story. Didn't you hear about him from some fortune teller? Charlatans, all of them. Don't read too much into this. Who is this Yamelo? Does this mean something to you, Ari? A fortune teller once told me that Yamelo made my sunstones. This artisan was trying to follow in Yamelo's footsteps too. Then we will chase those secrets as well, little fox. Brom is on the job. Thanks, Brom. Okay, that's nice. I'm not really sure who Yamelo is, but yeah, I'm not able to touch on that because I'm not too knowledgeable about that, to be fair. But looks like we need to find a couple of Ice Fox tokens and I believe a Foxfire token as well. So yeah, we'll work on that and a Midnight Fox token, and let's see what we can craft for Ari. Hopefully it's gonna be good. Obtaining components to craft an Oblivion Orb. Ooh, this is interesting. I'm gonna pull up a media on your screen right now. It's also Oblivion Orb is also another item in League of Legends. I cannot remember what it does. I think it gives magic penetration. I think, right? Does it give magic penetration? No, magic penetration is the old Oblivion Orb before the item was updated. I cannot remember what it gives now. I truly apologize. It's not in the top of my mind at the present moment. But yeah, feel free to check it out on your screen. So let's go ahead and just check out this other lectern here. A treatise on volatile gemstones and minerals. Handle with care, simple and close. Gems that amplify energy. Can you believe it? They expel energy so rapidly it's almost like black powder, but significantly more volatile. This definitely sounds like Hextech to me. I'm not really sure because, if you guys have watched Arcane, this sounds strikingly similar to Hextech. Let's just go ahead and read on. Just a simple tap to one of these gems can produce an incredible amount of energy. Yeah, this has to be Hextech. I believe in Arcane there were these blue spherical gems. I probably shouldn't reveal this if you guys haven't watched Arcane yet, but you know what? It's fine. I think at this stage most of you might have already watched Arcane. So, there were these blue gemstones of stuff, and those are Hextech gems. So yeah, Jason Victor perfected them. So I would say these are Hextech. These sound strikingly like Hextech. The weapons applications are limitless. Instead of blasting power, we could just use a small gem. We could make explosives capable of leveling leveling buildings that could fit in your pocket. The only problem being that we can't seem to build anything capable of surviving the blast. We've lost so many cannons only to be blown to pieces from even the tiniest gem. Not to mention the soldiers lost due to brutish handling of the gems. Okay, this sounds like something for Misfortune because we've already checked out the other 4 champions and Misfortune and Pike are left. I doubt this is for Pike, so I'm gonna take a hunch that this is for Misfortune. This could be a blasting agent, would add a lot of firepower to my arsenal. I remember overhearing Mother talking about building much stronger components capable of handling stronger firepower. This could be exactly the thing she was searching for. Stronger components, your mother was a skilled craftsman, yes? She was the best damn gun maiden the world has ever seen. She made these pistols. A weapon is only as good as the one who wields it. They weren't made for me. They could have been so much more. She held back on purpose. We need to find the extra part. I remember her writing more about them down. What's this between the pages? A drawing. Looks like some sort of map. The twisted paths are now accessible via the teleporter. Okay. Okay, that's about it. So, looks like we have to obtain components to craft Abigail's Legacy, and we received something called Unstable Blasting Crystals. So, unfortunately, it's not Hextech like I guessed, but it's still kinda cool. So, you might have noticed Misfortune said something there about the weapons not being crafted for her, which is also kinda true. That's because the shock and awe pistols, which she wields, are actually meant for Gangplank. How interesting. So, yeah, a little bit of a short backstory is that Gangplank once commissioned Misfortune's mother to create those weapons. I think this was a time when Misfortune was just a little girl, and I think her parents were still alive, and they ran some sort of gun forge somewhere in Bilgewater, which was then known as the Serpentine. So essentially Gangplank commissioned two sets of pistols, the best damn pistols that as she said, the best damn pistols one could ever have. And for some reason, I'm not really too clear on this, but for some reason I think maybe Misfortune's mother somehow realized that Gangplank was up to no good and refused to give it to them. Gangplank got mad and essentially killed her mother as well as her father, and that basically set Misfortune down this path of vengeance, which is why she hates Bilgewater. She hates Gangplank with all of her life and with every fiber of her being. So an interesting turn of events. Okay, let's go ahead and just check out this final lectern here, which I believe is for Pike. We're also running out of time, so I'm just gonna quickly breeze through this one. Dractor's legendary blade. Okay, this is interesting. Right off the bat, we already know what this is about. Dractor's dust blade. I'm gonna pull up a media on your screen right now, which I believe is a very, very cool weapon from League of Legends. I believe this one grants stealth for if you're idle for quite some time. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Dractor's dust blade is a very cool weapon. I believe this one also gives armor penetration, I believe. So I'm excited to have this one on Pike because this one could be very, very good with him. Essentially, massive damage, going off with this weapon. Anyway, let's go ahead and read this text. It looks like a very short one. Dractor was truly the embodiment of fear. Few assassins in history have garnered such a reputation, perhaps more legendary than Dractor himself. However, it was his dust blade. Many have spent lifetimes in search of this blade, and story says it has claimed countless lives. The blade is said to be hungry for darkness, which it releases into its foes, leaving them stricken with fear. The stories of its power recall those of the Order of the Shadow, those Ionian masters of shadow magic. The Order would surely welcome Dractor were he alive today. Perhaps their shadow manipulating weapons paired with a sufficient power source could recreate the blade. Dractor. I've heard that name in a memory somewhere. He sounds like a formidable foe with a formidable blade. This makes him and the Order of Shadows sound righteous, but many in Ionia think them no better than murderers. The Order, Dractor, I've heard of these in the depths somewhere in my mind. Where can this blade be found? I'm not sure it's even real. It sounds like a scary story told of frightened children and the superstitious. The blade is real and so is the Order. We must find it. The Order is certainly real, but you don't find them. They find you. They are no friends to the Vastaya. Let's hope they don't find us. Okay, we need to obtain the components to craft the dust blade of the Dractor. So, Very interesting mention of the Order of the Shadow there, which I believe is Zed's faction in Ionia. So for those of you who don't know who Zed is, he is a assassin from Ionia. There's a lot of assassins in Ionia, to be fair. Zed is the more prominent one of them, in my opinion. In fact, I think there's another very prominent one. I think her name is Akali. So yeah, Akali, Zed. Shen, in theory, is an assassin, but in the in League of Legends, he's mainly played as a top lane fighter, I would say. But per the lore, he is supposedly a ninja. So what are ninjas? Ninjas are assassins, right? So yeah, that's the correct terminology. I would say he's an assassin, but in League of Legends, he's a top lane fighter. So yeah, kind of interesting. He can also be a jungler as well. But yeah, this is I would say a fairly interesting one. Order of the Shadow, as well as the Dractor does play there. Right, we missed out another assassin, which I believe is Kane. Again, he's played mainly as a jungler in League, but he is part of the Order of the Shadow, so that automatically makes him an assassin in my book. So yeah, very interesting, and looks like we have a lot of weapons to go ahead and check out. So we just go ahead and just quickly check the quest log, because we're also running out of time. Heart of the Goddesses for Alawi, Shadow Isles, Stormrazor also on the Shadow Isles. Orange Will also on the Shadow Isles. Abigail's Legacy also on the Shadow Isles. Everything is on the Shadow Isles, I believe, right? Yeah, everything is on the Shadow Isles. So it looks like we are not gonna get specific places on where to find them. This could be a bit challenging. Okay, let's go ahead and just see the district map. It's gonna bring us back to the Arcane Forge and Athenium, which is not good at all. That means we need to go ahead and find these items manually, which could pose a bit of a problem. I am not really sure where we're gonna find all these, because there is no specific locations and stuff. We have some of them, however, because as you can see, we've already acquired some of the stuff for Alawi. One of the items for, I think, for Yasuo there. For Braum, we need to find all 4 items. For Misfortune, we've already found one of them. Dustblade of Dractar, nothing for a Pike, and as well as Ari, nothing for her as well. So it looks like we need to find a lot of these items, and apparently it's not going to tell us where. Okay, I tell you what. What we're gonna do is we are just gonna go ahead and deal with this one at a time. I think there are actually some clues here, because as you can see, there is some clues in the text. I'm not really sure where we're gonna find these items, but we will definitely be on the lookout for it. So we're gonna do all that in the next episode as well, because we're actually running out of time right now. We are way out of time. We're about 31 minutes in right now. So I think what I will do is in the next episode we will go ahead and head back to Bilgewater first, and then we'll deal with the level 3 ultimates, and then we'll come back and deal with the legendary weapons and stuff. So for now, we're gonna end the video here, because like I said, we're running out of time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, this fairly lengthy and text-driven episode of Ruined King. And if you did, consider liking this video as well as subscribing to my channel. Really do appreciate your support here, but most importantly, it is so that you don't miss future episodes or uploads of single player playthroughs or content just like this one. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Hopefully the next episode is shorter as well. So yeah, hopefully I see you guys soon. Goodbye.